Oh, hey there, heroes in a half shell. Welcome to at Louis Daylight's Photography. I really appreciate you coming back. And if this is your first time visiting and you like what I'm talking about, maybe you'll hit that like button and the subscribe button. Mom promised that she'd subscribe if I had at least 5. So we're getting there, little by little. I think that in this new season of being kind to one another, acknowledging each other's mental health, it'd be a good idea to support me. Sorry. What I meant to say is that in this new world of self-care, this channel has become very important to me, not necessarily for popularity, but to be able to get a message out when it comes to my passion for photography. And if you're on the cusp of trying to get passionate about it, then maybe this is your stop. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Canon F1. The Canon F1 is the flagship Canon camera from 69 all the way to about 79. The Canon F1 is a very special camera in my heart, and you'll know why in a little bit. But for now, just know that we're going to be reviewing the camera, we're going to be talking about some of its pros and cons, a little bit of the history, and then we're going to get out there and we're going to shoot. So enjoy the show. So the Canon F1. Here we are with what is supposed to be my big 35mm comeback. The Canon F1 is a camera that was released in late 69, that is 1969. There was a lot going on in the world. So Canon came out with their competitor to Nikon, and basically they wanted to make a camera for professionals. The AE1 seems to be a Canon camera that gets featured a lot in a lot of different content that I've seen when I've been doing the research, but the F1 is like the flagship. This is the one that was a little harder to get. It was a little pricier than the AE1, and it was known to be the journalist camera. They even released an olive colored one. I know that we were in Vietnam at the time, and maybe they thought that people would get into photography and by having the olive camera. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. Canon has historically been very hush-hush as to why they do things, when they do things, and they don't really offer up reasons for it. However, that olive camera maybe 5-6 years ago was going for a couple of $100. Now, because of its popularity and the return of film cameras in 35mm making a comeback, you can get that camera on eBay for less than $1,200. I've seen it, and that's the average cost, and there are not a lot of them out there. I know that they might have made a few thousand of them, but the Canon F1 became the flagship. It was the only competitor to the Nikon that was released around the same time. And I think Canon has stayed in the game for a very long time, and it's made me partial to being a Canon person. I started out with my digital Canon point and shoot. It was the Sure Shot. I started doing portrait photography with that as I transitioned from film back in the 90s, and soon I picked up Canon 20D, which at the time was a pretty good digital camera that could take care of business. I was doing a lot of wedding work mostly, and I justified the expense by using it for that. Anyways, in my triumphant return, and I call it triumphant because I'm feeling very good about myself coming back to film, I researched a camera that I could take with me and basically have it be my pal, have it be the one that I can really have a romantic honeymoon phase with. And so far, it's delivered. I had some problems initially when I was unboxing the camera. Everything seemed to be working fine. A few days after I did a quick Instagram review, I tried to remove the head here in order to reveal the waist level viewfinder that it comes with. That ended pretty quickly because I ended up losing one of the areas here. You're supposed to squeeze both sides of some buttons that are here to be able to pull it out. But if that button isn't there, you can't push it. And if you can't push it, you can't remove it. So after that first day, I was never able to use my waist level viewfinder because I lost the button. And I found it somewhere in my house, and I thought, oh, looks important. And I picked it up and I put it down somewhere. But like a squirrel, I put things away so well that I never remember where I put them. But that's another video for another time. The Canon F1, I've taken it out a few times and I've really tried to do a good job of documenting myself. I promise to do better when it comes to videography, but I'm working on that. I got a couple of my pals that are going to help me out with some of that in the future. This is what we would consider our humble beginnings. So now that we've talked a little bit about the F1, let's take it out for a ride, shall we? Did I just do this whole video with my glasses on? Anyway, before I get into some of the stuff that I experienced with my Canon F1 while I was out on the field, I want to talk about something that I think is kind of important. And it's not in the header, and it's not something I planned, but I'm using the Sekonic light meter. It's the L, now that I need my glasses, I took them off. It's the L308XU Flashmate. I was a little iffy about it because I was using an app for a light meter reader. The apps, most of them are free, but some of them you pay for. And I thought, I'm one of those guys that if you pay for something, it's because it's better. And so I didn't mess with any of the free ones, and I just downloaded one that I pay like $6 a month or something, which reminds me, now that I have this, I need to cancel that. I have a lot of faith in this, and now I'm able to definitely shoot out of the box. I want to be able to learn to navigate away from it, right? Experiment with bringing up the aperture a little bit, or dropping it if I need to, or if I'm shooting with Portra 400, maybe I can punch it up, and so I'm practicing and trying to document as I shoot ways that I can punch up or punch down the film that I'm using, so that I can get a little more experimental and really get the shots that I like. Because at the end of the day, if you're just shooting for the aesthetic and you're looking for a well-composed shot that's set properly, there's only so much you're gonna get out of that, and you're gonna want to explore a little further and try to open it up a little bit and play with the light that you bring in and that you bring out. I'm playing with it, but I've been successful with it because I did try 3 or 4 rolls before I even started filming myself or even taking this seriously as a possible YouTube channel. I found that I was making a lot of mistakes with my settings, and so the light meter reader, although it's gotten kind of chaotic trying to reintroduce the calm method of photography, which is what film really brings to the table, and the aesthetic of it is to be able to really just relax and embrace the process. But oftentimes I'm shooting with models, I'm shooting with other people's schedules in mind, and it can become tedious to try to keep that tempo, or to bring that tempo and kind of make it a thing again, because right now it's all about getting it done. Shooting digital is such a fast-paced kind of situation. So in an effort to try to refrain from doing all of that and really going back to the roots of it, I'm really just embracing that. And hopefully the people that collaborate with me for these videos are people that can be calm and kind of get used to this new momentum that's a lot slower paced when it comes to shooting. So a light meter reader, I would say, is very important. It's definitely changed up the look of my photography since I came back to film, and it was quite a hiatus. I forgot everything and I had to start all over again. It's been an interesting ride, but I'm super embracing it. I'm loving my journey, my process. This is really kind of, what are they calling it these days? The self-care? Self-care. This is my self-care. Being able to go back to film and investing in this process for myself has been really, really beautiful for myself. It's been an experience, and it reminds me of my true passion and my true love for photography when I first got started. I'm excited to share that journey with you guys, and hopefully you're still paying attention. So I was driving, and I drove past something that I liked, that I thought would be nice for some shots. And then as I was slowing down to try to find the spot where I could turn around, I found this place. And as I was getting out of the car, the guy who runs it or owns it was walking across the street to his home. And we looked at each other. I said, hey, I'd like to take some pictures of the truck. And he said it was cool, so thank you, dude, from across the street. We're right on the border of Summers, named in 1734. This is the town line. I don't know if it's into Summers or out of Summers, but I thought we were in Summers, so we might still be in it.